So, hello everyone. Here I am with the automation take home assessment. It all started with one simple requirement, but it was filled with obstacles, learning, memories, and too much of fun. So, let me start by sharing my experiences and showing you all what I have built. So, first of all, who am I? I'm Kailash Sharma, a human who loves Apple, nature, and poetry. I've been featured by Android developers' official LinkedIn handle and Google Play Academy. Apart from it, I've also been top 100 in Solution Challenge globally 2x in 2024 and 25, a winner of Mumbai Hacks 1.0. Currently, I'm working with TeamHealth.com, and yes, I'm always hungry for opportunities and I would love to build. So yes, it started with a very simple requirement that whenever a contact signs up for a webinar, enrich their company info. So being a programmer myself, making an automation using no-code tools like Zapier and Make.com felt simple. But here's when I saw the assessment and it felt tough. And I felt I need to dive deep into it so that I can make it done. So finally I started. Finally, before I started, I went to the HubSpot docs, the custom properties, to the field type, obviously understanding Make.com and understanding the user flow. But, let me tell you one thing. What was the first thing which I did? The first thing which I did was making up the flowchart. Yes, this is how I started, this is how I learned programming, and this is the basics and the fundamentals of it. Because there were too many steps and I got confused. So I decided like I'll draw it upon a pen or paper, and again there were tools which helped me, which I made a flowchart, and this gave me a very clear idea of what is to be done. So in this case, I understood that whenever there is a trigger, what is to be done, what are the steps, what is the flows, what are the conditions, and everything was clear, and now I was all set to start. Yes, this was again one of the best fun learning experiences was the API part. I found out that the mock API which was mentioned was not easily available directly. So hence I felt rather than wasting time, rather than finding up APIs in 10 different places, I felt I'll just build it up myself and I hosted it upon our person and which was very fast and which was really very efficient. So yes, Make.com was simple once I stopped fighting with it. In the initial, it was something to juggle with, something a non-programmer couldn't understand. But yes, once I stopped fighting with it, it was simple, and I started to understand how it could really create two powerful workflows within minutes once you start understanding it. Yes, things started to fall in place. Yes, right. Yes, guys, you should read it right. Things started to fall in place. I started to fix HubSpot, make API calls, and obviously I started to integrate Google Sheets for logging everything. And yes, things were working, and I was super happy. But wait, this was not it. I came to know that some cases my API didn't return anything, some cases Vercel was down, and in this case I had to fix the errors. So error handlings were non-negotiable. So some things which I assumed and documented was that email format needs to be valid, API returns a proper JSON, and again these are some basic assumptions which I made. And yes, obviously how to import this, I do have a blueprint.json. You can import this into make.com, connect your HubSpot account, Google Sheets account, connect with the API, and everything will start working. So what did I learn? Understand your tools before. Yes, I learned that understanding make.com was one of the most important steps. Second is system design is really, really essential. Logging is again important. Log all the steps. Because without logging, you cannot debug, and without debugging, there is no further story. Obviously, build error routes and keep your systems idempotent. It wasn't fast, but it was worth it. So now, let me start by explaining the automation I built. So let's start, go to make.com and I'll click on explain flow. So yes, first what it does, it starts by watching the contacts. And whenever a new contact is added, it watches it after every 15 minutes. Here is a tool where I set a variable, but here I also try to filter the webinar attendee as mentioned. So here I've set the variable. Here I make the HTTP request. So yes, here I make the API call to my backend, which I've made it custom. Now here I have a router which again has 200 and 400 responses. After which I search for company if the company exists. So yes, here if the company is found, if company is not found, I create a company, update the contact, and add it to Google Sheets and send an email. If the company is found and update the same company, update the contact. Again, if the employee count is greater than 400, I create a deal and create an association with the deal, create the task, and the Google Sheets, and again I send an email. Apart from it, if employee count is less than 400, so nothing is to be done, and I append it to Google Sheets and send an email. Next, what I do is, if in the router, if it sucks, if it's failure, again I create a task, I create a contact, add it to Google Sheets, and send an email. And same is for the failure of an HTTP protocol. Let's see it in action. So I'll just go and I'll create a contact with say Notion.so, and the name, I'll create the con. We create a contact and I'll update the lead source to webinar attendee as mentioned. And once I'll go here, I'll click on run. So it goes here. You can see the 1 1 1 1 1. And if I go to the Google Sheets, which is already connected, you can already see that the logs are added. So yes, scalar share, notion.so, success, and here this is the annual report. So yes, this is how my automation works. Apart from this, I've also added Google Sheets and sending an email notification to all the tasks. So this in this way, I made the complete automation. Yes, it was fun. It was full of challenges, but it was something really worth learning. So yes, now it works, and I know it end to end. Thank you so much.